Dre long pan a topic, Ali pan a rocket. Muscle confusion in my try make logic. Dre if it stop it when Rochelle upon a unicorn. Common sense, coming back to base like a uniform. Gwan. Best podcast in the broadcast. Listen when indoors, listen first class. Talk about enough things, make you start laugh. Best podcast in the world. Wagwan. Best podcast in the world.
Wagwan, everybody, Wagwan.
Yeah, we're there.
Greetings from the Most High. Jesus Christ. All right, guys, just a little bit of housekeeping before we get started. We have a YouTube channel. If you don't already know, now you know. The YouTube channel is the Wagwan Podcast. Please subscribe, like, and share any of our content. Feel free to tell a friend.
Yes. And if you want us to talk about something that you want to hear about, email us at wagwanpodcasts@gmail.com, WAHGWAN podcast@gmail.com. And we're also on Instagram. Follow us, comment. Yeah.
We're also found on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud, Amazon Music, and all your other favorite streaming platforms. If it's a platform for streaming, we are definitely on it. Make sure you check us out.
Wagwan, everybody.
What up?
What's up?
Wagwan, Mr. Baba.
Yo, there, I take it easy and breezy. How about you?
I'm here making it do what it do, man. Running like a chicken without a head as always. Trying to bring home the bacon.
Nice. How you doing, Rochelle?
Not bad. It could have been worse, so giving thanks.
Yo, today we got on my cousin, Dondre, in the building. What's up, Dondre?
Blessing. What's up, everybody?
Welcome. It's an idea.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah.
What we talking about today, Baba?
Yo, today we are gonna talk about what's going on in the world, and we're naming the title Transgender Fender Bender.
Okay.
I love it.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's touch on topics all the way from like what's going on in the jails now. I don't know if you guys saw 2 days ago that 2 female inmates were pregnant by a transgender, and we can go to Leah Thomas, and we can even go to Dwayne Wade with his son and what's going on with his son posting at 14 years old a picture of him and a white boy kissing. So Dre, what's your thoughts on the transgender prisoner who got 2 female inmates pregnant?
I love it. I'm here for all of it because I think all of it is rubbish anyway. So when it's exposed for the rubbish that it is, I'm here for it. I'm here for all of it.
What about you, Rochelle?
Again, I just think it's not my business for how people want to act or whatever like that. But when it starts affecting other people, I think that's when we should take a deeper look at it.
Dondre, what's your thoughts on this?
I think that it's insane. Though, if opportunity was offered to me first, I would have took it and exploited it the same way. So I ain't mad.
Right, because instead of sitting in jail with a whole bunch of men.
Exactly. I rather was that I said reprocreate. Still saying that wrong.
Yo, society is unraveling. I say this all the time. Society is unraveling. it's getting crazy. It's like when the Bloods and Crips could identify each other by shoelaces. Yeah.
So what's gonna happen to this man who impregnated the women? What's gonna happen to him?
That's a good question. That's a
You think
great
it should
question.
happen?
I don't know. I mean, do they plan to now start having the jail
Transgender jails.
have nurseries? Because now you have two pregnant women, right? You have two pregnant women, and you're not gonna let them out to go take care of the kids. What are you gonna do? Split up the kids? You split up the kids. Who's gonna be responsible for the kids? So well, that's the system, right?
Yeah.
So because we decided to make stupid decisions, you're now costing the system money.
Yeah, true.
Which is causing the people tax money and being
And ruining
allocated
lives
into
at the
things.
same time.
Yeah, I mean, look at those
born
children, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know how they gonna get away with that one.
Everything is fluid now. You know, you're not allowed to love something of the opposite. You got to be able to be flexible, pansexual, transsexual.
I have an opinion. I think that the smartest thing to do, like, and I know the government knows this. I just don't know why. I mean, I have presumptions on why they haven't implemented this, but if they're gonna go as far as to acknowledge another gender, then they should just build things and construct things for that gender. Like, they can't just try to mix them in and then just call it okay because you can. Like, you have, like, just like a bathroom. There's a boys' bathroom, girls' bathroom. Instead of forcing one into the other, you just come up with a transgender bathroom. So that way, you make room for people, like how they do everything else in the country. When it's time to move in immigrants, they spend trillions. If it's time to do anything else, they make room and they make room for the new things. But when it comes to adding on new genders, it's like an invisible war that someone is trying to do instead of just giving these people their own space, which would be more fair.
Right.
Their own team, their own sports, whatever, all that they want to do. They should have their own league, the TNBA. They should have all that.
Yeah, and that brings us into what's her name, Leah Thomas, who was once John. No, I'm joking. I'm not sure her name, but see, Dre said that one time before, right? Dre, they should have their own league. I think Dre said that she should be in her own league instead of beating women by this incredible amount.
Of course, yep. And then that league, at least women who trans into men, who normally just can't compete with a league full of men, can then also, if they don't want to play with women, have another league where that idea could be entertained. You know what I mean? They can play with other transgender people.
Right. Rochelle, do you think that people are just like 50 years ago were people becoming transgender, or is this something being pushed? And who is it being pushed by, in your opinion?
So I'm going to say something. I remember doing my bachelor's in Jamaica. And one of the courses that we had to do, we had to go to a grave site and we had to, just like decipher what was in the grave. And we were in Hanover. We were at a little town.
What kind of dopey project is this?
Hold on. You actually learned a lot about the community, the different diseases that were there, the age of the people that died. Oh, it's a lot of information you can just learn from a graveyard. But anyway, so we went. This is a nice little remote community in Jamaica, backwoods of Jamaica. And we went into the graveyard there and we were just noticing a couple of things. And there were several. This is a church graveyard, by the way. So you had to be a member of the church in order to be buried in the yard. And there were several graves where two men, not transgender, with two men, two women that literally buried together, and they never had any kids, no family, but they lived. And it was always, they were best friends. They went through life, blah, blah, blah. I don't think this is something new. I remember watching a very old movie. I forgot the name. I think it's Some Like It Hot. I'm gonna look up the name right now. And in the movie, two prominent, sexy men, I think it was Tony Curtis, Marilyn Monroe. I forgot who the other guy was. And they were like they were cross dressers. But at first it was funny and it was all hilarious. But there has always been this side, but I don't think it was as pronounced as it is now. But I feel like there was always this side. And I think having all this crap that we're eating, hormone imbalance, I think that has actually added to the complication that we're facing right now. So yeah, that's how I view that situation.
Whole bunch of soy boys.
Those vegans.
I'm just saying.
No.
Okay. It could be anything that we're eating, because guess what? If you're not the one planting it, and as a matter of fact, even if you're planting it, the seed is already GMO. So when you plant it, you're already planting GMO. So there is, especially in America, there is few, when I say few, very few organic food, 100% organic. Because even if it's 60% organic, it is still 40% GMO. Don't let nobody trick you. Don't.
So, Dondre, who's benefiting from all of these that's being created?
If you want to call it a benefit, then okay, that's fair. That's a fair word, actually.
No, somebody's like turning people into gay people for a profit of some sort. Who do you think that is?
I think honestly it's the elites. I think it's the people that control and operate. So for example, I watched I don't know if you guys seen it. I'm sorry. I seen this it was a story that came out where it was this transgender lady who worked for the writing board for Disney, and she was saying how while when she came in that she would everywhere where she could put something gay, she did, and everywhere where she can influence, she said she did. And she said, I thought that the corporate people were going to come in and say, all right, you're doing too much. But they never ever stopped me from doing anything. So she's like, the more they allowed me, the more, I just kept throwing in. And then it influenced a culture in Disney and in the screenwriting rooms to okay that kind of stuff, or to know like that kind of stuff is always going to get the green light. So when a red light comes in, they know, all right, let's put something that we know Disney is going to accept, which is, that agenda. So if anybody is to, if you track the money, I would follow it back to the shows and who owns the shows. And I think those are the people who are like, we're going to make this a thing. You know what I mean? I think that the elites, the politicians.
Dre.
Yeah.
What about you? Who do you think benefits from all these men turning into women and all these men becoming gay?
I don't think it's who benefits. I think it's a fact. I think we live in a vanity-driven society where most of what we do is for attention and recognition, right? And a lot of people are so desperate for attention. They'll do anything. Like you watch the TV show where they walk around and eat all sorts of craziness. You watch TV shows like The Fear Factor. You watch TV shows like Jackass. Like people just like they want attention by any means necessary. And if it's I'm going to become a famous swimmer by changing to a woman and swimming against women and shattering all the records, then I'm gonna do that. But I'm gonna be famous.
Yo, I swear to Jehovah, I just seen a new rapper with dreads and nails all through his head. You saw that, Dondre?
Yeah.
Nails all over his hair, which made it look like it was on his face. No. It was a new rapper.
No, I'm joking. But I did see it on, I think it was on a World Star clip. I seen it. But I did see what you're talking about. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to agree with Dondre. I'm gonna have to agree with Dondre. I do think it is the higher ups, and even although what Trey said is true too, people love attention. I think that the higher ups want to create beta Black males.
100%.
So
Wait, I'm sorry.
nothing. So nothing
sorry.
like Martin Luther King happens again. Nothing like Malcolm X happens again. Nothing like the Black Panthers happens again.
I agree.
Do
Oh,
you
I just
know?
want. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Dondre. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. All right. I just want to also add to the conversation too that I also remember I watched a video on how the private prison system profits basically, and that before they figured out the system on how to get the profit out of it, what they did was they had to, all right, so this is what they did. They gathered a whole bunch of people who had a lot of money. They had paid like $7 million, $20 million just to buy a facility. They buy a facility that hosts, X amount of beds, and they'll calculate it all in the like the Series A of funding it. They'll calculate how much can they profit per person, and by the bed and by the food and how much, and then plus the amount of labor they can squeeze out of them. And then when they broke it down, they were figuring out that basically the math was for every $7 million that investors are getting back within 3 years, $150 million per $7 million on just private prisons, and that they had to push money into like the music and stuff like that to fill up the jails, because after Wynn got around that, this is making people triple digit millionaires, that people were basically like just flooding it. So they had to push more policies to fill it up more. And I figured if they can do that, if they can get a body of people and influence them to get gangster or get, I guess criminal, then I don't see how it could be impossible for somebody to influence the same medias to turn them, soft.
So you're saying if they can use their powers to influence people to go to jail, then they can use their powers to make men and women want to get wet and wavy Brazilian 48 inch.
Yes, sir.
What's that? What's wet and wavy Brazilian?
That's weave.
Oh,
Imagine that. Imagine the beauty industry going up with all these men doing their nails. You're right.
That's facts.
So I think so what so I don't think it's an explicit agenda as you guys are making it. And curious to hear Rochelle's opinion. I don't think it's an explicit agenda like you guys are saying, because I think that there are some people, whether their loved one that they have a strong love affection for, or it's themselves who have these proclivities that they don't feel comfortable, don't feel confident in, right? And so, they hide them, and then they work hard. They don't have families because, a homosexual relationship doesn't provide kids. It doesn't produce kids. So they don't have families. They generate, all this wealth. They have the time to work because they don't have to get home to take care of the kids, get home to do whatever. They don't, they have the ability to put all their time into their work. And so they excel in the workforce and they become powerful in their areas of expertise, right? And now they're in the position where they can say, hey, we're not going to do this, we're not going to do that. And if you do, I'm your boss, so there's going to be hell to pay, right? And so I think that's kind of what happened in terms of, people with these proclivities got powerful, naturally or unnaturally. And also, you have a lot of people who their kids came out at home and they have power and they love their kids. And so they start to create these kind of lanes because they want to, establish protections for their kids. And so you get this gay agenda mob going around the world, around America, right? Where anybody says anything, it's like the Jewish mob. If you say anything, against Jewish people, the Jew mob comes out and they come for your life. It's the same thing they did with, these people are not stupid. They can pay attention to what's going on in society. And so they created the same kind of thing for themselves, where if you say anything gay, if you say anything against gay people, they come for you. They come for your life, and they try to humiliate you and try to shame you, pummel you via shame into submission, right? And so now we're at the point in our society where because we allowed a guy to say, hey, I'm a girl. Now we have to allow, people to say, yeah, he identifies as a man, as a woman. So I'm identifying as a cow. I'm identifying as a bird. I'm identifying as a baby.
Right.
We spoke about the guy who was identifying as a girl, so he doesn't have to pay child support. A little girl, so he doesn't have to pay child support.
Did that work?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yo, Rochelle.
So with that story, this man, he had 2 children. He was married. He was, I think he was about 45, thereabout. And then one day he woke up and he was like, yeah, I'm a 12-year-old girl and I cannot pay child support and I need the state to support me. And the state supported him, and literally, I'm sorry, he didn't have to pay child support because he's now a 12-year-old girl.
That is insane.
Yes.
So, Rochelle, I wanted to ask you, and Dondre too, do you feel that while the men are becoming more gayer over the years and the numbers are growing, do you feel that the women are becoming more masculine? And is that it? Is that an 100%. Agenda?
100%. And I think it's part of the same agenda that's making men soft.
Word.
Rochelle?
I don't know. I don't know, because all my friends are still girly girls, and like all my students are still girly girls. Do I have students that look masculine? Yes, I do. But again, I don't know because I'm not out like that to see. And even when I'm out, I don't see a lot of like masculine women. I do see a lot of girly women. But do remember too that lesbians, you can have 2 girly girls. You can have, so it's not like necessarily you have to be a manly girl to be whatever you want to be, if that makes sense. So I don't.
Michelle, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So you said that your students and your female friends still come off girly. I wanted to know, by percentage wise, how much of those women do you think will take on a man in a fight? Like, and I'm not saying they want to fight, but they speak in the manner of, oh, I'll beat that N-word's ass, or I'll beat, how many women do you know speak like that out of the percentage of the women they still are girly?
None of my friends are about to do that. We're not the fighting type. We're the ones who are gonna.
No, he said the students.
Guys, my students.
SMD.
Maybe the student, because I teach the SPED population, so it's not like the gen ed population. And the population that I teach, I would say maybe 5% of my students would say that. Because again, most of my female students are very girly. They have their boyfriends, or they're crushing over guys, right? I know like there is a clique of girls that are literally the guys in the school as well. There is a clique. So I know that clique, but that's not like a representative of like everybody in the school. And those girls, I know they will beat anybody. I don't care who you are. Those girls, they will beat you. Man, woman, child, it don't matter. They will beat you. So yeah.
Now let me ask you this: did God create gay people, or did gay people come from a choice? And is being gay by nature, or is it by nurture?
That's for anybody. So that's a tricky question, and I'm going to answer that. So again, when I was studying, so we did intrasex, and intrasex is when, hermaphrodites, you're born with two genitals, right? So one vagina, one penis. And then back in the day, a lot of doctors, it was just easier to just snip off the penis. So a lot of these people who eventually decided to stick to the masculine side of themselves, they had vaginas and they were like, we
Oh
feel like we were
man.
robbed, right? Because they were never given a choice. It was just an easy choice at birth for the doctor. It's harder to cut out a whole vagina. It's either just cut off that penis, right? So that's
I
for
would
that
think it would be
population.
easier to just stitch it up. No?
Nah.
No, it's easier to actually deal with the penis. But that was for that population. So there is a whole community in Puerto Rico where a lot of people are born females, and then when they get to about 15 or 16, they literally, their voice deepens, they start getting facial hair, and they literally grow a penis at about puberty. So between about 13 to 16, depending when their puberty starts. And
So what
that's
you're
a whole.
saying? You're saying that Puerto Ricans can grow a penis back if it
No,
was
no,
cut
no, no,
off?
no, no, no. I didn't say that. I said there is a community there that it's like something that has been passed down genetically. So like people in that community that are relatives, most of them go through that. It doesn't mean all of them, but majority of them go through that. And they will show you, like, again, I'm not sure if the documentary is on YouTube. It blew my mind because I never knew this at all. And they're called intersex. Now, I'm going to tell you, a lot of times, and again, it comes back to the food. The food that we're eating has a lot of hormones inside of it, a lot of chemicals, and a lot of stuff that literally messes with fetus, with the embryo. And one of those is your brain function. If everything that the mom is eating is messing with the child, right? The child may be born a certain way, but then you don't know the hormone levels because that's not something that people naturally test for, right? So do you remember a couple of years ago when this lady wanted to run and they were like, no, your testosterone levels are too high. You're typically a man, right? So there are certain cases where people are born that way. So that way your body is looking this way, but your mind is telling you it's something else. For that, I cannot judge people because I don't know what's going on mentally, right? God created everybody. Let me answer that right off the bat. God created everybody. He created the thief. He created the murderer. He created the pedophile. He created everybody. The hypocrite, he created them. He created
Rochelle.
everybody. Yes.
Go ahead. No, I'm just saying he created the Rochelle.
Oh, yeah, of course. And he created El Rochelle, okay? Okay, he created El Rochelle. Okay, so my thing is, it's your decision whether or not you want to tap into that side, right? If everybody in your family is a thief, you don't have to be a thief. But chances are you have the genetic makeup to become a great thief if everybody's a thief in your family. If everybody in your family is a hypocrite, chances are you have a great chance of becoming the greatest hypocrite of all. And chances are, if you have certain things, you may be inclined to become homosexual or asexual or pansexual or all these other sexualities that are there, because sin has created such a discombobulation of personalities and all these different things that are not supposedly the norm of what we take it for.
Amen.
So,
Hey, Jay, you
if I may, I think that there is a, I also thought about the hermaphrodite angle and thought about if it's actually something that's true, right? And two, if it is true, what number of people would be classified in that segment or sub, right?
I'm
find
confused. Wait, are you saying that you don't believe hermaphrodites?
No.
Wait,
I'm walking you through my thought process.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Like at one point, I thought, is this true? Like, are there actually people who are born with two sexual organs? Or if it's something like, mermaids, we hear about mermaids so much. It's like, are mermaids for real kind of thing? So, when you look it up scientifically, they say it's true. So fine, it's true.
I've seen hermaphrodite before.
Really?
100%.
And so the hermaphrodite was being a male or a female?
Now, I don't know what they even reference the student as, but it like visually it looks like the person represents a male visually, but behind the clothes are both body parts are there.
So the person has a breast as well.
It's kind of the person is young, so you really can't tell. Like they're not really built like that.
It's not formed yet. Okay.
Yeah, it's not really formed like that.
So
and they're built kind of out of shape. Like it's seeing that now. I don't have a lot of experience because I was only one that I could really base it off of. But what I can say is that before I seen it, I didn't think it was real either. But it's 100% real, and that I'll leave it there. Yeah, it's 100% real.
All right. So now that we've gotten that cleared up, bulletin, breaking news. The Gwan podcast can verify categorically that hermaphrodites exist. 100%. Now, I started to think to myself, well, if it does exist, it can't be a huge like there is for all intents and purposes a pandemic going on around sexual sexuality, right? It's in question. Like there's like in America, there's a pandemic going on, pandemic level challenge going on sexuality. Now, I can't see that many hermaphrodites being born.
No.
Right? So then that leads me to believe, okay, so there's a subgroup of these people that the overall talking point around the subject might apply to. So let's leave those, let's call that 20%. Right? So let's say 20% of the sexuality challenged people were hermaphrodites. The other 80%, how do we think about them? Now, what we can categorically also verify is that there were people who at one point in their lives were homosexuals, right? And as they got older, decided to become heterosexual. They themselves also called it a phase. So there is now another subgroup of people in the same sexuality challenge group of people, right? Where they are making a decision. Now that opinion isn't allowed to be brought forward because then you're saying, no, I'm not natural, this isn't natural. And that's the talking point that they want to go out, is that this is natural and you need to just deal with it. No, there are people out there who made a conscious decision, hey, I'm gonna try girls. I like it. You know what, I miss boys. I'm gonna go back to boys and I'm trying to speak nicely, right? And so how many of the group do we classify that as, right? I don't know. I'm not going to quantify it right now. I'm just saying that is there. Then you have the people who are into fads, right? There was a point in time where you would be embarrassed if you wore a hole in your pants. People would laugh at you. Oh my goodness. you can't afford jeans. You got holes in your jeans. Now you are, you're almost the oddball if your jeans don't have holes in them, because everybody got holes in their pants now, right? So I think there has to be an additional subgroup of that same group of people that are doing it because it's an in thing right now. And I get attention, whether it's negative attention or positive attention. I still get attention, right? From being a gay person or being a transgender or whatever, right? And we're not able to drill down properly on the subject because the gay mafia will come after you.
That's
And
facts.
they got high heels ready to drive it into your eyes.
I think that they adopted another superpower. I mean, all right, how can I put this? I feel like that superpower that they exemplify, they've got that from watching women, because women also have a great, I don't know what this underlying code of conduct came from, but they also, in majority, not all, but in majority, have this thing where like you can't come at sisters, or you can't come at women, and women are gonna just allow you to kind of do that. You know what I mean? So I feel like gay people were like, I mean, not gay people, well, gay men were like, you know what? They're kind of relentless. Like, they know to get emotional about everything, so that way it kind of stops humanity from kind of just even touching the subject. So you can't even say like, but how are you gay? And then they're like, but you can't ask me how I'm gay, because you can't do that, because how I feel and how you're making me feel. And that's
Right.
when it goes back to how you're making me feel thing. That's where I feel like that. I don't know how that's working, how it's working so well, but that's where it all kind of stems to. Like, we're not, because how they emotionally think and make decisions, we're not people who think logical or want to ask or, kind of hold accountable logically. We're not allowed to do that, because it's the same war between I feel and,
So
what's
let me
what it
ask a
is.
question. Dre, just the same way a hermaphrodite could be like, yo, they cut off the wrong switch. Don't you think there can be a chemical imbalance in gay people, which was created by God to make somebody think that they're a woman when they were born a man?
All right, so it's hard to have the God conversation and this homosexual conversation, right? Because the only information we have to guide us as it relates to God is the Bible, right? And the Bible clearly says that homosexuality is an abomination, right? Now, it could just say, hey, it's a sin, but it says and about, like, that is the only thing it said in the entire Bible. That is maybe the only thing that it ever said was an abomination. Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed because of the prevalence of these kinds of things. So it's hard to have that conversation because God is who created everyone, right? And so if a person is a man and says that he's a woman, he feels like he's a woman and there's a chemical imbalance. Yes, obviously God created that person, but there are a lot of people with chemical imbalances, right? And those folks with chemical imbalances, we give them medication to fix the chemical imbalance. But what society have done as it relates to this subject is to say, no, we're not going to fix this chemical imbalance. This one is natural. If you're a grown person and you like kids, there's a chemical imbalance and we're going to treat you. If you're a psycho, or you lose grip of reality, that's a chemical imbalance and we're going to treat you. But this chemical imbalance, we're going to now adopt it in society as natural.
Right.
And I think that's wrong. If it's a chemical imbalance, let's just agree that it is, and then let's make moves, let's make decisions as though it is a chemical imbalance, and try to do what we need to do to fix it. Don't tell me, hey, he's a man, but he feels like a woman, so you need to treat him like a woman. We need to all treat him like a woman, right? Because now you're gonna have the jails, because I can guarantee you, you're gonna have a lot of men out there who's all of a sudden gonna be transgender so they can get out of the men's jail and go into the women's jail.
100%. Let it be my turn. Like,
and then you're gonna have a whole bunch of pregnant women in jail. So it's like instead of accepting reality and making decisions based on reality, we're trying to bend reality to fit this thing that isn't reality. And because we're trying to bend reality to fit this thing, you now leave the door open to bend reality to fit other things. And so now you have the guy who's identifying as a little girl, so you don't have to pay child support, and now he's a ward of the state, so people so people have to support him, right? Then you have the people who are identifying as animals, right? And all of this is a trickle down effect.
Yeah.
All because we need to leave the door open for this one. Instead of accepting reality, hey, you're a man, and if you like men, okay, go and be with a man. But don't come and say you're a woman, because you're not.
Yo, in Facts News today, we have a picture, and it's a picture. Let me paint the picture for you. Dwayne Wade's son, who is 14, had uploaded pictures of him and a Caucasian boy kissing and being very intimate. Dondre,
I'm here.
Is it when you were 14, or if you have a 14-year-old child, is it
I have
regardless
a
of regardless of what the genders are or what the preferences is 14 too young to post pictures,
yes,
intimate pictures online?
Yes, I believe so. Of course, if it's going to be under my account, like if it's something that, I think it'd be something that if I were to catch, I'll probably tell her, you gotta take that down. It's just inappropriate.
Why? Just because 14 is too young?
Yeah.
But come on, Dondre, we know you lost your virginity at 8 years old. Stop it.
Which I to the joke, I understand, but at the same time, like it wasn't a good thing. Like it wasn't what would I say? It wasn't glorified like that. So that's why it was kind of like what I did was wrong. But if we don't acknowledge it as wrong, we can't allow that to be right. Like we can't make that like, oh, it's not a big deal, and then you just have, because then what happens when the conversation gets to 12-year-olds and 13-year-olds, and we all know that the person that you're putting your lips on at 14 that's not somebody you're gonna, that you're really gonna be with for the rest of your life. So it's kind of like, why even have your, like, why express yourself like that, publicly, if this is not even what you're even supposed to be spending your time doing at this age.
So you think 14 is too young to make a lifelong decision that you're gay?
Yeah, on social media and post it, yeah.
No, but what about just acknowledging it and like telling your parents at 14, hey, I'm gay and I think I'm going to be this way for the rest of my life?
I think kids should be allowed to, if that's how they feel, they should be allowed to tell their parents that. But I feel as parents, the best thing that they can do, or we can do as parents, is just kind of just journey them along. Like you just gotta let them be comfortable in the space that you allow them to be in, and kind of just journey with them, even if you understand it or not. Because like I wouldn't be able to understand, but I'll definitely be able to journey along, just to kind of help. And when that time comes, when they're 14 and they make a decision to post whoever it is, I'd probably tell them no matter who it is at 14, like, I don't think that's what you should be putting out here. Like, this is just a person you like right now. This is not something that you should be even telling other kids that you do at 14 years old.
Yeah. Nah, not me. Not me.
Right.
I'm like, yo, you better rethink that decision. This is a lifelong decision. Your will not close. Once you decide it, you will not be able to go to the sea.
I mean, I get you. But then, like I remember growing up, they said eating vagina was like a terrible thing. And until like you cross that bridge, like then you're like, oh, it ain't a big deal. So I feel like the more that we scare kids into no, that's just the harder they're gonna run into it, because I feel like that's how the new generation works. Like nails. Like, remember we were just talking about how we seen people with dreads and nails, and I was like, growing up, you don't even have to ask a question. You walking around with nails, we're not gonna ask you no questions. We're already gonna make the assumption. Nowadays, I actually have a funny story. The other day, me and my coworkers went to go play basketball at the YMCA, and it's just us three, so it's not really a full team. So we got there and we're like, yo, let's just pick up 3 dudes and just challenge them to a 3-on-3, just to kind of get the sweat going. So we challenged these 3 dudes who were like just kind of sitting. They're kind of sitting far apart but next to each other in the gym. You just kind of that we know that they would play with each other. So we're like, yo, y'all, do you want to play with us? So they look at each other. They're like, all right, cool. So we're playing with them. My friends are playing down low, like center, and I'm up here guarding the guard. And as I'm looking, I'm like, his nails are fiery red. And it kind of like caught me for a second, because I'm like, wait a minute. Am I playing with somebody who is, and not that makes a big deal, but just the way they were speaking, and you know how the game goes. Like the way they was like hitting each other. I was like, I wonder if they are, but whatever. Then we had like timeout, or I don't think the game ended or whatever. And then when we got back into a circle, my other coworker was like, and y'all noticed that all of them got nails on? And I'm like, oh, they all have nails on? And when you came to when we all looked at it, they all had nails on, and one of them had like this mismatch, but they weren't behaving as somebody you'd call gay. Like they still like they're just young dudes, just being young dudes. And
it was on that Kid Cudi type of time.
Yeah, yo, but yeah. And it kind of just took me for a spin, because I'm just like, am I that old where, like I said, they may think it's not a big deal, but me and my coworker, we're all the same age. We're all looking at each other like, what the heck is going on? Like,
black men are wearing skirts now, bro.
On?
Straight black men are wearing skirts now, bro.
That's crazy. I haven't seen that yet.
And nail polish.
I've seen the nail polish.
Your straight friends are doing this, Ali?
No, I didn't say my friends.
The way you seeing this stuff, you starting to see unicorns too. Like, what's going on?
I don't know, but these dudes came up, they're probably like 24, 25, and I'm 29, so we weren't that far in age, but enough for me that to blow my mind. Like, I'm like, you guys are all in nail polish and they have nails like there's nails over their nail. Like that, to me, that's like,
how in the world you play basketball and
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm here thinking, like, how y'all even playing right now? And they're playing like they play. So I'm like, how is this even?
Yo, there's definitely a new category, and I'm seeing it more and more on social media of
you don't want me to answer the question?
Okay, go. Sorry.
So as it relates to
the 14-year-old,
right, kids coming out at 14, I think when you come out, there's a difference when you come out and say you're gay than when you come out and say I'm a woman, right? And you're a male, or you're a female and you're saying I'm a male, right? There's a big difference. When you come out at 14 and you say you're gay, I don't think a parent have the ability or the say so to challenge that, right? You can just tell the person, oh okay, and move on, right? the person says, hey, I find men attractive, and they're a man or they're a woman and they find women attractive, as a parent, there isn't much you can do about that. But if you're coming to tell me that, hey, I feel like I'm a man, my son is gonna have a hard life in my house because I'm not treating you like a woman. You're gonna be treated like a man in my house, and then when you leave my house, you're free to do whatever you want to do. When you come around, I'm gonna treat you. I don't care if you now go and get a sex change and you come back with long hair and pumps and whatever. You my son. What's going on, son? How you doing? Are you gonna be pissed? But I'm gonna treat you like a man. Just because you have a feeling, I have a feeling that I'm a millionaire. I can't walk into the bank and whip out $300,000. I can't do that.
Yo, there was I don't know if you guys saw Central Park 5, the show, but there was one of the guys that went to jail. His older brother started dressing like a girl, and the mother and him had a tumultuous relationship. And that's what happened. It's the irony is, you raise this person and then you may never speak to them again.
And look, that's people have the right to choose whatever they want to choose. It's their life. They have to live it. But this is also my life. And I should be able to choose how I want to live mine. And I don't want to have to lie to you because of something you feel inside of you. I'm not treating you like a woman because you're a man. I raised you. I used to change your nappies, your diapers. You're a man. And because of whatever imbalance going on in your head, you now want to be treated like a woman. I'm not going to help you with that. I have an aunt that she used to have psychotic breakdowns. And she would say she hears people, she would call me all hours of the night, often throughout the day. Hey, I hear the men outside talking about they're gonna hurt you and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, Auntie, there's nobody outside here. I am safe in my house. Nobody's trying to hurt. I'm not playing the game with you. And to help her, we had to get her on meds. She was hearing voices in her head. We had to get her on meds because she literally was hearing people outside talking. So now we're looking at people who feel or feel like in their head that they're women. And instead of addressing the situation, we're now saying, oh no, we have to respect that. So why we don't respect my aunt who was hearing stuff outside? Or why we don't respect the men who are the killers, the serial killers, who are hearing voices telling them to go kill people? Why we don't respect those people? Same thing.
Rochelle,
Yes.
do you feel that if a transgender man who turned to a woman goes on a date with another man, do you feel that he, who is now she, has to tell that person that he's a man before they do anything sexual? Or is that used to be a man, or is that her business?
No, I think you need to be honest with whoever you're dating. If I'm dating, I'm going to be honest and I'm going to be forthright with everything. So by me not being honest, and it doesn't matter in what, it's just being honest. Give that person the opportunity to decide if this is where they want to go. I don't like entrapment at all. And I'm definitely against entrapment. Yeah. So I wanted to answer the questions before because I think I was talking, but I don't think anybody could hear me. I think every parent has a right to grow their child the way that they want. But if it was my 14-year-old, they can't come to me and tell me to have a boyfriend. They need to get a PhD. then they have a boyfriend. You know, make some, after you start paying some bills in the house, you can have all the boyfriend you want. A 14-year-old should not be in a relationship, much less posting. I'm going to be posting anything online for my 14-year-old, whether they're in a homo or heterosexual relationship. 14-year-old to me is very, very young. And I think somebody else said at 14, who you are at 14 is not necessarily who you are at 16, definitely not who you are at 20. Moving forward, you're not the same person. You're ever evolving.
Yes, don't make no lifelong decisions based on temporary emotions.
But would y'all consider that a homosexual relationship? Dwayne Wade's children. I mean,
He
child.
has a son. He has a son who's dating a man, right?
Yeah, but his partner is a biological female, and he's a biological male, which means they can still procreate and they can still have children.
I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that.
Oh, you didn't know that? Yeah, it's
The
a biological
plot
woman.
thickens. The plot
A girl, actually.
thickens.
Oh, I thought y'all knew that.
Hilarious. I did not. But I don't listen. I could care less. I'm busy making a fortune for my family. I could care less
Hey,
about these
listen,
people.
you could care less, but that don't mean it's gonna stop your kids from seeing it, you know, and getting ideas. So it's like we gotta care
So I'll
about.
tell you what. So now that I know that this dude is with a girl, then he's free to do it, and I'm a supporter. I thought it was a guy because when I saw the picture, that looked like a guy.
Yeah, it's a new guy. It's a new type of, and it's like, we call them guys and children. It's a new boy, and Zaya is a new girl. So they're just new things.
Wait a second. So the girl he's with wants to be a man, and the man she's with wants to be a girl. Is that what's going on?
Yes.
How the hell is this not lunacy?
Right.
How anybody like you gotta be talented as hell to make this make sense.
I mean, the typical gender. I think gender dysphoria is the perfect word for it. I think that, you know.
Do you know what does dysphoria mean?
Dysphoria is like, I mean, I don't know verbatim, but I don't know the dictionary.
Ali, look that up for us, please.
Gender dysphoria.
No, the word dysphoria.
Oh, the word dysphoria. Okay.
Dysphoria is a state of unease or generalized dissatisfaction with life.
Okay. So I thought
it comes from the Greek word hard to bear.
So I thought dysphoria was a state of confusion. Just by the etymological makeup of the word, I thought it derived from some level of confusion, but it's coming from dissatisfaction, right? So because you're dissatisfied with something, does that mean whatever makes you satisfied is what we all should? Again, I want to be a billionaire. I want you to address me as a billionaire. When I show up to the bank, treat me like a billionaire. If I were to ever do that, they would lock me up. Because I can go to the bank and flip out, why isn't my billions in my account? I need to speak to the manager. Where are my billions? That's how they act, right? When you treat a man like a man and he wants to be a woman, that's how they act.
Yo, we trans billionaires, baby, 2022.
Again, try it in the bank and see. And this is how you know that a lot of this stuff is rubbish. Because if you apply the same concept to different things, they don't allow it.
Yeah. The math don't math.
Exactly.
Rochelle, you took your line. The maths is not mathing.
Once it's not Dre saying it, I'm fine.
Yeah. You see? This is why I am relentless about coming for Rochelle. You see, I am relentless. Even if you don't send for me, I'm coming.
Yo, do we all treat gay people equally as we would treat a regular person?
Real answer, no.
I do.
I do too.
Now,
I don't treat them better or worse. I treat them the same like myself.
I have a gay cousin that I talk to, and I treat him a little bit sensitive.
Me too.
What does that mean?
I hold my punches back because some gay men can be like very go off on you, and they just extra, do a little bit too much sometimes. And so sometimes I keep it at bay because I know how extra they can be,
So the gay people that are extra, that's annoying to me. And if you annoy me, I'm gonna react. So one of my good friends, like this dude is my brother. I think he hasn't come out to tell me, but I think he is. And that don't change how I feel about him. As long as he keeps it to himself, we're good. And he has.
Dre said, as long as he keeps it to himself.
No, because there are some gay people out there who try to turn out straight people.
Yes.
So
yes.
So it's not like I'm exhibiting homophobic things here. There are some gay people out there who their intent is to find straight people and try to turn them out. And so, that I'm gonna have a problem with. But he's not one of those flamboyant people either. So, whatever. Anybody extra, I can't stand. I never liked Ben Farnsworth. Never liked him.
What?
Never liked him. He was too extra.
Oh man, hip hop royalty.
Never liked him. He was a flashy dresser, but that dude was extra as hell. Couldn't anybody that's too extra, I can't stand him. So whether you're extra because you're gay or you're extra just because you're extra, I don't care. I don't like it. Chill, man. It ain't that serious. Relax.
Yeah, you do have. I think even though people are accepting of the man turning to a woman, I think if a black man turned to a black woman and say he was a nanny now, I think all those gender fluid people who are accepting of this would still be like, you know what? I'm not leaving my kid with you. So it works to a certain extent.
Yeah,
right.
I agree with that.
So you're proving that the same philosophy is not transferable. So we're carving out. They're carving out like a subset for this specific thing.
Yeah.
That tells you that something is up. Now, I don't agree with y'all when y'all talk about they're trying to emasculate black men. I don't agree with you guys because white men are going through the same thing black men are going through. White men are turning gay. White men are out there trying to turn out other white men. So I don't agree with y'all that there is some assault on the black male. I think there's assault on normalcy in our society. Now, if y'all think there are more gay black male than there are gay white male, then that's a different conversation.
All right, I'm gonna say this. I work with magazines. I work for a magazine company, and you will see a gay black man on the cover 3 times more than you'll see a Caucasian guy. It's at that level. I'm not saying maybe more gay black men are in entertainment than gay Caucasian men, but on the magazines, is more likely you're gonna see a gay black man.
I
And
agree.
this could be a part of the numbers game too. You remember how they said Caucasian people are dying down? Maybe it could be a numbers thing to slow down, you know what I mean? The black population from growing.
Okay, so explain to me how the assault is being executed.
Disney, as Dondre said earlier, I was watching a cartoon, and the cartoon has wicked cartoon. It's called Young Justice. The drawing is amazing, and I'm pretty sure kids watch it, and they are putting it into art. Yeah, Sean told me once that my cousin Sean, he said, the biggest way to impact the culture is through art.
Yes, but you still have a decision to make.
Yes, and art can make you make emotional decisions.
So does music, and I definitely believe that, like I said, in the music, it's also effeminizing men as well. The music.
How?
Because the people who idolize music idolize musicians, and musicians went from looking masculine to looking feminine. Like if you look at the average, you know, little rap star, these little Uzis and all these, they don't you know, dress to exemplify alpha male, or they don't exemplify like, oh, that's a strong black man. They normally wearing, you know, something that makes them look like little pop stars, little like dolly guys. And it's like, I was listening to Malcolm X talk about it. Right. And I was listening to Malcolm X talk about it. He's like, in the other communities, that's not how it works. Like the musicians, the comedians, the entertainers aren't the people that the people look up to. But in our culture, like though the music is influential as well. So if you can control the musicians, make them look feminine, make them wear nail polish, then you can make the people that follow it do the same thing. So
yeah,
it's
again,
now
that's still a decision.
Because right, no, of course it's a decision, but humans have freedom of choice, a freedom, you know, to do whatever they freedom of what's called freedom of will. So, but influence, that's how influence works. Influence is not forced. Influence has to be persuaded. So they first have to make you okay with it. Once you make it okay with it, then they can proceed with the influence and trying to, you know, just persuade what you may think is cool, you know, okay, and what's not okay. But you that freedom of choice you still have to have.
So I'm gonna tell you this. And this is not me now. This is how I've always been. And I'm sure there are a lot of people out there that's just like what I'm about to say. I don't give two craps who the guy is. That's wearing a dress. He can't influence me to wear a dress. Dude, I feel funny when I go to the hospital and they give me that damn robe with the open back.
Hey, yo. Well, Dre, you remember that they don't care about us. They trying to infiltrate the kids.
Right. So you remember you said how does this
indoctrinate the kids?
So I am saying to you that this isn't just me now. This is how I have always been. Dude, when I came to America, it took me years before I wore shorts.
But what about if they do it at an age before you came to America? What if they started at 3 years old? 4.
They'd have to make him okay with it. Then he'd have to be okay with it. Then they persuade him to do that at your older age.
So what's happening in Hollywood here that ain't happening in around the world? Because Hollywood reaches around the world. Every movie is shown around the world.
Right, but movies are for adults. We're talking about you asked about the assault and how was it possible, because you say you didn't believe that it was like intentionally being done. And I didn't want to get too far from that, because I want to make sure that we know we could kind of trace the lines on where they are placing the assault. So far we talked about how it was in Disney and in the media, and we know Disney owned almost everything. Now we also know that it's in the music. They make the musicians look feminine and they make them look Whatever
But
song, whatever.
that has always been though. Like look at all those rock stars that used to wear heels and long hair and women blouses. Like that has
Right.
always been.
Right. And I'm not saying that it hasn't always been, but that wasn't like the for example, like everybody was kind of doing it. And honestly, I think the assault started back then. Like I think the 70s was 100% with that era of pop music. And of course, when we integrated with Black people, I think that was the beginning of the assault, where they started saying, all right, listen, let's start making these. Because after Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, the pressure was on, and then everything turned down for the 70s when they let certain people have mixed sex and all this random integration. Then they start integrating like crazy, and then now those kind of conversations don't happen anymore. Even though, like I said, like, there's people fighting for reparations, people fighting for this. There's a lot that people are still fighting for. But when you get at the media and you change the way people think, like Disney, and then you get into the music and you change the way people look at their role models, like they do in the music, like Lil Uzi. And then now I'm gonna bring it to the educational system, because now in education is kind of the same thing too, where before, like in school, that these things weren't really taught like that. But now, like I said, I've been through plenty of schools now, like children's schools, and they have like gay books, like children books for gay children. And I'm like, this was never a thing when I was that's not a book. These books I would never find. And I went to school in the Bronx. I would never find a book at the at the book sale talking about gay BCs and a story about two. That stuff wasn't really promoted, so it was out of sight, out of mind.
Gay BCs.
Nowadays, kids can pick that up. Kids can pick that up, like, oh, what's this? And you can, and now that's in the school, where teachers gonna have to teach it. Teachers gonna have to allow it. And then now that's three different avenues: the music, the media, and the education. How it's all kind of making men soft and making women extra masculine.
So Rochelle,
and the food, like Rochelle said, the hormones, the GMOs, like it's all avenues. It's an assault.
Rochelle, the year is 2072, 50 years after today. What does the world look like?
Okay, so I'm just gonna ask everybody one question, and then I'm gonna answer your question. What did Jesus wear? Did Jesus wear pants or dress?
A dress.
That is so unfair.
Okay.
That
No. I know where I'm going. Let me answer your question now. Everything evolves. We are an evolving set of people. God gave us the ability to evolve, right? I remember being a little girl and going to church, and they wanted to take off some stinking lady hat to give to me so I could sing. I said, I'm not going to sing because I'm not wearing no stinking lady hat. I could not wear pants. A matter of fact, I said to them at church, what is the problem? I said, first of all, what is the difference between a brief and a panty? Each one you have to put one foot in at a time. What is the difference? When I saw my father brief, it looked just like my panty. But yet there was a big discrepancy. Women should not wear men's clothing. In Scotland, what is the traditional garment for men? It's a kilt. It's a skirt. My thing is, if a man want to put on a skirt because him feel free and him feel cute, so what? I wear a pants. When I was younger, I couldn't. And I was waiting for the day to wear a pants because I just felt it made me look sexy. And now I wear pants every day because I am sexy in my pants. So what if a man wants to wear a skirt? I don't care. Once it's not my skirt, I don't care, to be honest. So in another 50, 60 years, we're not even, I don't know if there's even going to be gender. We're not going to have race because everybody getting pregnant for everybody else from different race. So therefore, there will be literally no color because people not going to see color because everybody going to look the same. Everybody going to be mixed. In another 50, 60 years, women and men go, because from Jamaica, men were getting pedicure and manicures. They weren't wearing the colors. They weren't. But when I was younger, I couldn't wear colors either. My church told me, if you wear any color, it's an abomination unto the Lord. You're going to hell. Everything from my church was an abomination unto the Lord. Earrings, abomination of going to hell. Lipstick, abomination of going to hell. So guess what? Every day, people change, things evolve, systems change. The only thing that has not changed in all this time is nothing, because everything has changed. Every single thing has changed. But my thing again, if you can do whatever you want, I really don't care. But don't impose it on me. Don't push it onto me. I treat everybody equally because everybody has sinned and fallen short. That's what the Bible says. And sin come in a variety of ways. And the Bible said not one sin. It doesn't matter how big, how little, how white, how black, how cute, how ugly it is. It can't enter heaven. Right? So that's...
But we all going to hell then.
I ain't say that neither.
You never sinned before?
So the Bible says that there's only one way to go to heaven, and it is true, Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. If you confess your sins, then you're good. And that's where I am.
And turn around. It's not just confessing. I don't know what's up with y'all and just quoting part of the Bible and misleading people.
Mm-hmm.
Yo,
it's not just repent and you're going to heaven. You have to turn around and stop doing whatever it is you just repented of. That's the first thing. That's the first crazy you just said. Second thing, I doesn't believe you when you come talking about you don't care if your man wears skirts. I doesn't see you walking into any church. What's the difference? If he buys his own skirt or he wears yours, you just said there's no difference between the brief and panties. So what's the difference between his skirt and yours?
My skirt is mine. His skirt is mine. His shirt is mine. His everything is mine. But mine is not his.
Full of it.
But what if it don't fit you though? What if it don't fit you and he just got this big old skirt?
Then I can't wear it. Then I ain't gonna wear it because it can't fit me. Then we don't have a problem.
But you'll be okay with your man walking around in the skirt?
If he's sexy, of course. If he have some sexy legs, I don't have no problem with him wearing a skirt.
You are such a liar.
All right.
Thank you.
You are such a liar.
Dondre.
Oh my gosh.
What's the world gonna look like in the next 50 years?
You asking me? Andre, I know we said Dondre.
Dondre.
Oh, me.
Dre done.
50 years. Okay. So we're talking about 3 generations. My daughter's my daughter's grandkids. I think that the way things are going, I'm not gonna lie, I think that robots may be a part of the gender switch. I mean, not the gender switch, the gender conversation. So I think that people are gonna start programming little robot children to interact, and that's gonna be another thing to have conversations about it, And I feel like I agree with Rochelle. I feel like people of color are gonna become more like mixed, and we're not gonna be able to tell what's what. Like we'll know black skin and white skin, but I think yellow skin will kind of take over. I don't know about 50 years. I would probably give like another 200, but 50 years, I think that technology would be insane. I think that people would probably be computer chipped, and I think that I don't think we'll be in space yet either.
Andre, 2072, what's that looking like for you?
50 years from now, I'll be 90. So hopefully, if I'm still alive, I have all my faculties. But if I don't have my faculties, hopefully I'm dead. How I think the world would be. I think we might end up how we were 40 years ago. because the pendulum has swung so far, and there's a little bit more room for it to swing. And I think it's gonna get to that apex, and then it's gonna swing back very aggressively. So I think we might end up finding a world 50 years from now, similar to the world 40 years ago or 20 years ago, which is, anything that resembles homosexuality is going to be, a blight on society. That's what I think. I think the world is cyclical, and right now, this is the phase we're going through, and we're going to snap back. Just like how the world was in Kumbaya when Obama was president, and then we snap back to Trump. I think the same thing is going to happen. I think a lot of this feminine empowerment stuff is going to backfire on women because the men are already rebelling. The men are already fighting back. That's why you're hearing all these men talking about women wanting to be men, and all these soft ass dudes, complaining. So they're fighting back already. So I think
Listening to Kevin Samuels.
Yeah, finding their confirmation bias all over the internet to make themselves feel better instead of stepping up to the plate. So I think the pendulum is gonna swing back, and a lot of the rubber band is gonna sting a lot of people. I don't know if that's what I think or if that's what I hope, but that's the answer I want to give.
You're right about one thing, is that
don't
the men,
agree with me.
allow me.
Doesn't agree with me.
Allow me. So I agree with one thing that you said. The men are rebelling, but you have to remember now that even though the men are rebelling and they're passing all these laws, because I don't know if you realize this, but all the Viagra pills for all these little shriveled up old men with little shriveled up old penises, that is covered under the law. That is covered under insurance. It's not illegal. However, these very men can rape their sisters, their daughters, and everybody else, and then the woman has to pay for it. So I feel that is the rebellion that's going on. That's men speaking out. But you have to remember who has the power. Women have the power, and it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem.
You said men can rape their daughters and their sisters, and women just have to deal with it. I was kind of confused the way you're talking about.
Yes. So there's actually a law that if a woman gets pregnant,
it's not federal. It's some states.
Yes,
but go ahead.
But it is spreading in all these red states. It's spreading because it was in Texas and now it's passed in some other states. So it's spreading in these red states. If a man rapes his daughter or the sister and she gets pregnant and she gets an abortion, he and his entire family can sue her. If any man rapes a woman and she gets abortion and she gets pregnant and she has an abortion, then they can charge up to $20,000 per person. And a matter of fact, they just passed a law where a man can get married to up to a 13-year-old. And there is a governor, I forgot the state that he's a governor for. He met his wife when she was, I think, 12 or 13-year-old, and he was grooming that girl. The day that she graduated from high school, they got married the next day. And this man was in his 40s. Yeah. So the men are
we saw Woody Allen do it. So
okay, and what happened to him? Nothing happened to him. Okay, so the men are doing what the men have always done, just lash out against the women. And I think that's why the women are doing what they want to do right now. That's why the women are doing the most, because the men literally are just wailing. So that's my take. So that's the reason I agreed with Dre, with the men rebelling, but the women are coming back. Trust me.
Whoa, I don't know. I don't know. I That's funny because I think that when men and women rebel, I don't see how like men are gonna lose this. Like they'll lose because we'll lose the concept of family and community in this war. But and this is just I don't believe the war to be that serious, but we're just gonna call it that just for the podcast's sake. But I think that men can kind of control, we can leverage it better because the ideal situation for women is for a man to be in control of the situation, whereas I guess then for men to jump on the women's page, because you're saying that women could just snap things back. I don't know if women are gonna be able to snap themselves back out of the new consciousness through like the manosphere and all that's this new information being spewed.
So one element y'all are not even paying attention to is that Rochelle's idol is about to make robots, and you best believe those robots are gonna have penises and vaginas.
Of course.
And as this war continues, men are just gonna opt for a robot.
100%.
I can see Ali buying 2 robots.
That didn't I say that? And then they go into the gender conversation. And then
Ali's he's gonna have 2 women that he can have sex with anytime. He can let them do whatever he want, and none of them gonna argue with him.
And then I'll call myself a polygynist.
And exactly. And then the women are gonna have a man that's gonna have the size penis, because I'm sure it's gonna be adjustable. The perfect size penis she wants, and he can go all night, and she can have sexual bliss, and she turn him off and go to work and come home and do it again.
I don't think women.
Hold on. Let me just come in right here. First of all, you're talking about the future. That's happening right now. What are you saying? That's happening right now.
How many women right now have a man with a penis robot sitting in their
no, it's not prevalent.
Under their mattress?
I'm not talking the robot. I'm talking the toys.
Right, but that's
but it's different.
What's the difference?
Right.
What's the difference?
A toy isn't going to get on top of you and give you the same.
They have those. They have the body ones. They have the one for the men and the one for the women. The body ones. They do.
Yeah, it's a half of a thing. It's not the same.
All right. Okay.
Isn't the one you're talking about? That's like the pelvis, right? Like from the knee to the waist.
They have they have like the life-size dolls. Let me look up for the video and show you.
They could make I believe that they could make a life-size doll. I'm saying
like full. No, I'm not saying doll like
Rochelle,
a Born.
I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm asking, like, it's not prevalent right now. I'm saying it's going to be more prevalent.
Right. Okay. And women, I think women are going to hate it. Women are going to hate it because it's going to cost a lot, and they're going to realize how stupid it is.
That's why they all have toys. No. Is that why they all have toys?
No, because here's why I say that.
Because that's like $1 billion industry, right? So don't think that woman not going to pay for that.
Sexual toys is $1 billion industry. What I'm talking about is using a sexual robot to replace a man, a real breathing man. That is what I think women are going to get their heads.
If he's toxic, all he's doing is taking your money and just coming with negativity, I will go buy that today. Right now. But then I will pre-order it.
Going
right
home.
Now. Send me the link. Let me link it right now. You got a link? Let me link it. Okay. And I'm sure I'm not the only one.
You wouldn't like that for too long. I know for sure.
I would prefer that over toxicity.
How do you know that, Dondre?
Thank you.
Because women are emotional beings. Women are. It'd be the same as being lonely. It'd be the same as being lonely.
No, it wouldn't.
They got their girlfriends, bro.
Of course. But then that's when I talk about lonely. I'm talking about man lonely, not just friend lonely. Like that, it'd be just as bad as having no man. See, if a guy could on a life-size AI doll, a guy could have sex on that and kind of not all. I know. Let me just keep saying that. Not all at all on both ends. But majority of guys can just have sex with a doll. Of course, if there's the full body and all that stuff. But what I'm saying is a woman can't do that in hopes to replace a breathing man, because outside of whatever pleasures it give you, you guys are still emotional beings. And the same reason I hate being lonely will be the same thing that an AI doll will not fix, is all I'm saying.
No, I
Okay.
disagree because
Thank you.
go ahead, Rochelle.
No. Go ahead, Drake. I will agree with you one more time. I don't know what's going on. We're going to have a communicating later. I've never agreed with you so much in a podcast. No, go ahead. I'll go after you. Go ahead.
I disagree because the technology, the AI technology is getting to a point where you're gonna, I mean, look, you've seen it in movies, and all these IT people do is watch movies and make it a reality. You're gonna be able to implant a consciousness into a robot. And that robot is going to, I think, eventually these robots are going to start to think that they're humans, and we're going to all die off, and it's going to be robots alone left, because there isn't going to be much of us having sex with each other, because the animosity is just going to keep building from men to women. And as we have seen, the more options we have, the more we exercise them. Divorce rates are as high as it is because it's now socially acceptable and okay to get a divorce. So with that being, with the attitude towards divorce being as nonchalant as it is, and options are now there for men. You hear Ali always worrying about some woman coming to take his money. A robot's not going to take his money. He just won't charge her, and then she's dead, right? So like the options that are gonna be there, like I feel like humans are gonna slowly stop interacting with each other, and Elon is just gonna keep laughing his stupid little laugh, and getting richer.
I just want to say that man is the devil. So don't ever say that is my anything.
That's your mentor.
No, because he's racist. That's why all of his black employees are suing him.
I hope they lose. I hope they lose.
I hope they take all of his money.
I hope they lose.
I think in the next 50 years, what we will see is more augmentation of the human body. I think that us right now will become obsolete, the type of people we are. There's going to be more designer babies. They're going to be parents who decide my kids will look so cute with some bunny ears or with a lion mane or with an elephant trunk. We can probably even use technology to evolve us from feeling lonely to evolve us to getting our own selves pregnant. And it's going to be about entertainment. Who is the most entertaining? And that could be looks also.
Then, I'm going to sell my sperm.
But I also think what can happen while society is unraveling is China can take over the whole world and have Chinese soldiers patrolling down the Bronx and Connecticut, keeping things in order. You know what I mean? I think a lot of we become more vulnerable as a country the softer we get,
Yeah.
You know what's funny? Oh, Rochelle, you were going to say something.
No. I think you kind of encapsulated what I was going to say.
Oh, what's funny is that what we're talking about, I want to think that it's an American thing. It's an American phenomenon. I was talking to a lady from England, and she pretty much was saying that a lot of this gender dysphoria, they don't have that in England. She said it's not on the scale as it is here. And the reason she said it is because they are not capitulating and lying to each other. If you want to do X, Y, or Z, you're free to do it. But as a society, they're not forcing everybody to address you as a woman. or address you as a man. And I was just like, no, I can't believe, because it's so prevalent here. I think that we all think that it's worldwide because it's so prevalent. We just might be going through, I've been fighting myself to say this whole episode, but this might be Babylon. Right? And we're in this bubble that we're all being forced to accept certain things that we think, oh, well, if it's happening here, it's happening around the world, and it might not be. We're just in a bubble.
That's a big fact. That's a big fact. We definitely in Babylon.
Called the Matrix.
With all of that being said, I love gay people. They allow my polygynous dreams, which is a man having more than one woman, to be a reality.
Oh, I know you're polygynous.
Oh, come on. Yo, come
Dre,
on.
you feel the same way too?
About what?
Dre don't even
lifestyle.
I think people who want to do that is free to do it. I mean, that's not something I'm interested in. But
no.
I
could feel it in Rochelle's soul. It's gonna say, man, I don't think she's with it at all, if I can assume. But I do want to know how you feel.
About what?
Polygynous. Men wanting to be polygynous, or
No. I am equal rights. I asked Ali this question already, and Ali messed up on that question. So I don't believe he's a true polygamist, because a true polygamist is not just going to have two women, but his woman will now have two men, and now all six of them will now live in the one bedroom. And then Ali girlfriend can go to her boyfriends, and Ali can go to his girlfriends, and then everybody can come back and meet together all in one. And until that day, Ali is not a true polygamist. That's not how nothing works.
But he's not a polygamist.
Oh, here's another thing I think that's gonna happen.
Wait.
Hold on, wait. Let me go back.
Wait a second. He's not a polygamist, Rochelle. He's a polygynist.
Right.
There's a difference between polygamy and polygyny.
Okay, what's the polygyny? Mm-hmm.
Right. Polygyny is only the man gets to have fun. Polygamy is
not fun.
Why is it fun? God.
Right.
What I mean?
Only the man gets to have his way.
You heard how the man set up the thing?
That can't work.
Well, that's why he believes it.
All right, yes. Only I want to have fun. Only I want to have fun.
That's why
nobody else can have fun.
I'm gonna kill her, but I push Ali off of the bed every night. Every morning they wake up, no orange on the floor.
Me need 200 coffin on my forehead.
Right.
I know what you were saying. You thought about.
I think the adult with a child will be way more common, unfortunately.
Single parent, you're talking.
No. I mean, man dating little girl.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
Woman dating little boy. And those people need a cuff in their head.
Well, we keep letting everything. We keep letting everything
slide.
Keep giving space for everything. So yeah, that's.
And now we turn Kevin. Now we turn Kevin Spacey.
I don't know. I don't get that reference.
Sorry. I'm just playing.
Yeah. What about Kevin Spacey?
No.
You better open up the wormhole.
Kevin Spacey did some shit, but I was just playing on you saying space.
What did he do? I don't know what he did. I'm asking y'all to help me here. What did Kevin Spacey do?
What did he do again? Let me look it up. He did something. He was in the news a couple of days ago.
Dondre, what did he do?
I mean, I know. How can I say this? I know Kevin Spacey for being in a space of remember you asked me who do I believe is behind all of it, I think he would know a bunch of people to for me reference.
Oh, he got charged with sexual assault. Oh, multiple men have accused him of sexual harassment and assault.
Oh, okay. So he's what's the name of the guy that the women went after the other day?
Fochiman.
Right.
That's a funny ass term.
The guy that
Weinstein.
Weinstein, right?
Yeah,
so he's a male Weinstein. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely runs in his circle. So I thought that's why Ali said it, because I thought he's, because we're talking about men that like kids.
So we figured it out. We're gonna open up a new swimming team. Everything for the people who switch, right? And they can have their own bathroom. Normal. They have their own swimming pools. They can have their own league.
Or like it's simple. Most bathrooms have toilets, so make every bathroom unisex, but don't do stalls. Like do individual bathrooms.
Oh
right?
Boy.
Right. So it's a unisex bathroom, so you don't have women with a line and men don't have a line. They just have unisex bathrooms. One person going at a time and you close the door.
Oh, and now they're calling real women birthing persons. I forgot about that.
Yes.
So birthing person.
or what was it? No,
they are taking the women and calling them birthing person.
Yo, they don't call them women no more. Yo, isn't that crazy? They don't. Yo, the community doesn't even want to reference them as women. They want to just call them birthing person.
Who gave them the power to do that? That's what I keep telling y'all. Y'all keep giving these people power, man.
That's crazy. That is crazy. Can you imagine somebody trying to strip a man?
You know who gave them power? The cancel culture.
Yep. Who came up with the cancel culture? Let's trace it all the way.
Exactly.
Who came up with the cancel culture? Let's trace it all the way back.
Word.
To that. And how I feel.
This is why I'm happy Dave Chappelle stood his ground. This is why I'm happy that was it Amazon or Netflix?
Netflix is down 200,000 users in the first quarter because of that, and they could be.
They'll be back.
They should care.
Because you keep letting these people overrun what happens. Yeah. This is what keeps happening. So they're down 200 users. It's not because of them supporting Dave Chappelle.
Right.
It's you don't think so?
Raise the price.
No. COVID is over. People are not going out to movies, going out to dinner, so they don't have the need to sit down in their house and
they got
watch
mad competition.
TV. There are options out there now. When everybody had to be locked up in their house, okay, fine, we need entertainment at home. Now we're back outside. We don't need as much entertainment.
Yeah.
Don't give them the credit because it's not them.
Word. Yo, well, Dondre, thank you for coming through. I hope we have you back.
I hope so. This is amazing.
Yeah. We got real deep.
Hey,
I hope we didn't offend anybody.
You said a bunch of things. I don't know if you said it after we started or before. But we got to have you back on because you have the antidote to a problem the Gwan podcast has. So we need to have you back on. We'll schedule you ASAP.
Oh, please. I'm 100%. I 100% am down.
Yeah, for sure.
Good night, Rochelle Ali.
Thank you, brother. Shelly Belly.
Yes.
This was uncomfortable. I felt like you were what's the thing? Me too. Because you were a bit too much.
No, I'm good. Listen, you know my back broad. You know my back broad. I don't shy away from nothing. My back is broad. I got this.
Doesn't do this again, please. I felt me too. I don't want to have to go and get an interview and cry.
Oh,
that I was me too by Rochelle.
Whatever. You're a mess. You're a mess.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
Have a good night. And thank you so much.
All right, guys. Blessings. Till next time.
Yes.
All right, later. Well, guys, thank you for listening to another episode of the Wagwan podcast.
Yeah.
As I mentioned, we are already on YouTube. If you don't know, now you know for the second time. Please like, subscribe, share our videos, spread the word, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend.
Yes. And if you want us to talk about something that you want to hear about, you could email us at wagwanpodcast@gmail.com. WAHGWAN podcast@gmail.com. We're also on Instagram and we're on all your other favorite platforms. That's Apple, Google, Spreaker, SoundCloud, whatever you want. We got it. Listen in.